so get this. We're diving into a story, a big story, about BlackRock, the world's biggest asset manager.
Huge.
Yeah, exactly. And they're teaming up with India's Jio Financial Services. But this isn't just some, run-of-the-mill corporate partnership.
Right.
This could actually change the game for businesses in India.
Yeah, especially for startups. Those with big dreams and even bigger funding needs, right?
Yeah, those are the ones.
Huge potential impact.
Definitely. So before we get ahead of ourselves, let's break it down. What exactly is private credit? Why is everyone suddenly so interested in it?
Imagine this. A company needs funding, right? But a traditional bank loan just won't cut it. Maybe they need more flexibility, or their business model is a little too out there for a bank to really wrap their heads around. That's where private credit steps in.
So it's a bit more, personalized?
It's like bespoke tailoring for financing, totally custom fit to a company's needs.
Interesting. So this is catching on globally. This isn't just some niche thing.
Absolutely not. It's gaining traction everywhere, particularly in Asia.
And that leads us to India, right? I mean, India's economy is booming, but their traditional banking system, I don't know, I get the sense it's not exactly known for its flexibility.
You're right on the money. Think about it. Non-performing assets. Those are loans that have gone sour. They're weighing down those Indian banks. Plus, they're dealing with stricter lending rules, so it's a bit of a
perfect storm.
Yeah, exactly. It creates this huge demand for alternative financing, and private credit is like, hey, we can fill that gap.
And enter BlackRock and Jio, right? A global financial titan and a company that practically has India's market on speed dial.
It's kind of a big deal. And this is what makes it so fascinating. So BlackRock, they bring their A game in complex financing, obviously, and they're hungry. They want to diversify, move beyond the usual stocks and bonds. Right. But here's the thing. They need to find new avenues for growth. Returns in developed markets. They're stagnating. India, on the other hand, India, with its rapidly expanding middle class, its hunger for these massive infrastructure projects.
It's a gold mine.
It represents a huge opportunity for those outsized returns they're looking for.
Yeah.
And for Jio, this isn't just about boosting their bottom line.
Right.
It's about solidifying their place in India's financial landscape.
So they're strategically positioning themselves.
Exactly. They want to be the go-to financial player in India's new economy. Think about it. They'll be the ones funding the companies that will shape India's future.
It's a pretty powerful position to be in.
For sure.
But let's be real for a second. Even the best laid plans can go sideways, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges they might face in the Indian market? I mean, navigating regulations there can't be easy.
You're telling me. India's regulatory landscape, it's complex. And then there's the currency risk. The rupee, well, let's just say it can be a wild ride.
A roller coaster.
Exactly. These are real challenges, no doubt.
So how do BlackRock and Jio plan to navigate those potential pitfalls?
Well, that's where Jio's deep knowledge of the Indian market comes in. They're like the experienced Sherpa guiding a climber up Everest. They know the terrain, they know the shortcuts.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Right. They know how to handle things when the weather turns bad. And that local expertise, it's going to be crucial for BlackRock.
To survive, let alone thrive.
Exactly. For maneuvering through that regulatory maze and dealing with those currency swings, they won't be stumbling around in the dark, that's for sure.
Okay, so it sounds like they have a plan. But this partnership, it just feels bigger than BlackRock and Jio, doesn't it? It feels like this could have a ripple effect on the entire financial landscape, globally even.
You're absolutely right. This isn't just about one deal. This could be a game changer. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack when we come back. We'll be back to explore just how big those ripples might be.
Okay, so we've talked about BlackRock, we've talked about Jio, shaking things up in India. But what does it all mean? What does this partnership really mean for, the average person? What's the big deal?
Imagine this. You're a young entrepreneur in Bangalore. You've got this brilliant idea for a new solar energy company.
Oh, okay, I like where this is going.
You need capital, and I'm talking serious capital, to get this thing off the ground. Now, those traditional banks, right?
Yeah, weighed down by bad loans, tied up in regulations.
Exactly. They might not be so keen on taking a chance on you.
Right.
Right. But here come BlackRock and Jio potentially offering you a lifeline.
So they're opening doors that were previously closed.
Think about the bigger picture, too. This partnership, It's not just about individual success stories.
Hmm.
It could really shake up the entire business ecosystem in India. More vibrancy, more dynamism.
Or competition too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's how you get innovation. And that growth, it's not just some abstract concept. It means jobs. It means infrastructure development. It means more prosperity for everyday people.
That's the dream, right?
Right.
But okay, let's get back to those challenges we talked about. India's regulatory landscape, the rupee's fluctuations. How big of a deal are those, really?
India's regulations are, well, imagine trying to learn a dance, but with 1,000 different partners all at the same time. That's kind of what it's like. It takes time, it takes skill, and it takes a lot of patience.
So that's where Jio really comes in, that local expertise.
Geos are like that seasoned guide, the one who knows the terrain like the back of their hand.
Mm.
They're going to be absolutely invaluable to BlackRock.
So BlackRock's secret weapon.
You could say that. Okay, now the rupee. Remember those roller coaster rides we talked about?
Oh, yeah, that's a good analogy.
So the rupee, it can be volatile, and that introduces a layer of risk.
BlackRock's taking a gamble.
BlackRock knows what they're doing. They're incredibly sophisticated investors. They've got a whole bag of tricks to manage risk.
So they've got a plan.
They'll be watching those currency markets like hawks, adjusting their strategies as needed. It's all about calculated risks. But, we've talked about the challenges, but let's not forget those sectors we mentioned, the ones that could really take off. Renewable energy, infrastructure, technology, those game changers.
The ones that could really benefit from a boost from private credit.
Exactly. India wants to go green. They have these ambitious goals for renewable energy, solar farms, wind energy projects, clean technologies. Those all require massive investment.
And traditional banks might be hesitant because of the long time horizons.
And then there's infrastructure. India needs new roads, new bridges, new airports, everything. These projects, they take years, sometimes decades, to show returns.
Not exactly a traditional bank's cup of tea.
Exactly. But for private credit, huge opportunity. And then there's technology. India has a vibrant tech scene, tons of startups, young entrepreneurs.
Hungry for funding.
Private credit can provide that rocket fuel they need. But, we've only scratched the surface here. There's more to this story, and we'll delve into that after the break.
We've talked about the potential of private credit to fuel growth in renewable energy, infrastructure, and technology in India. But this is where it gets really interesting. If this BlackRock Jio deal is as transformative as some predict, could it have a ripple effect on the entire global financial landscape?
It's a tantalizing question, isn't it? Imagine a world where private credit goes from being a niche player to a major force shaping investment decisions across the globe. This one partnership could be the catalyst for that shift.
So we're not just talking about India anymore.
Not at all. Think about it. Success breeds imitation. If BlackRock and Jio demonstrate that private credit can unlock significant value in emerging markets, other global players will take notice. They'll be looking to replicate that success in other regions, partnering with local experts who understand the lay of the land.
So a rising tide lifts all boats.
Precisely. This could lead to a surge in investment in developing economies, particularly in sectors that have traditionally struggled to attract traditional financing. Renewable energy, infrastructure, technology, these could all benefit from a more globalized and accessible pool of private credit.
It's like opening up a whole new world of funding opportunities for businesses and projects that might have been overlooked before.
Exactly. And as more players enter the private credit arena, we'd likely see increased competition, potentially leading to better terms for borrowers and a more efficient allocation of capital. It could be a win-win for everyone involved.
It's almost as if this BlackRock Jio deal is a microcosm of a much larger shift happening in global finance. A move away from traditional models towards more flexible, innovative, and collaborative approaches.
You've hit the nail on the head. This partnership is a sign of the times, reflecting a growing understanding that navigating the complexities of today's global economy requires adaptability, ingenuity, and a willingness to forge new paths.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into this fascinating story, what's the key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
The BlackRock Jio partnership is more than just a business deal. It's a potent symbol of the evolving financial landscape, highlighting the growing importance of private credit, the power of strategic partnerships, and the immense potential that lies in emerging markets like India.
It's a story with global implications, one that could reshape the way we think about investment, growth, and innovation in the years to come. So keep your eyes peeled because this is just the beginning. And as always, thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive, where we take a deep dive into the stories that matter. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking those big questions, and never stop diving deep into the forces shaping our world.